Right, I've cut these timbers back a little bit so I can measure it properly, but for some reason 1, 2, 7, 8, and here I've got 1, 2, 7, 6. It's not much, but that needs to get longer, so I'm going to undo my clamps. What I can't going to do is offset it like that. I'll pull it that way, that'll make that distance longer. I'll probably have to do all of them, and as I tighten it up I'll keep measuring, and I might even just give that a whack at that end. Right, so now I've got 1, 2, 7, 7 and 1, 2, 7, 7. I only have to do these two on the outside, so these ones I'll put square and tighten back up, so I don't want that to change anymore. I just want to clamp the middle. Right, ends are on. I'll go find something damp to wipe this glue off. Right, these joints here, when I sanded this edge here, I just sanded straight through, so I always knew you'd see that joint. I didn't think I'd be able to hide it, so I exaggerated it instead. It's going to get painted, this. It's just wood. Slightly out on these. Don't know why. Must have cut all these just that millimetre too short. As you know, I've got 2 of these. Really good little sanders. I like them. But last year sometime I bought this. Never opened it. It's brand new. This was to replace this one. It's at least 20-year-old. Still works. Just rattles a bit too much now. So I bought a new one. These are alright, but you can't sand the edges of stuff with it. You can't sand these edges because it just rips the disc off. It looks like it's got a Velcro pad. And a puncture thing to make holes for the... This looks the same as that. See how packed solid that is. Really packs it in, so hopefully this one does the same. But this one's square so you can get into the corners, and I should be able to sand the edges of things without ripping the disc off. Now this thing for puncturing the holes for the dust to go through the, you know, through here like that. Still got the old one from the old Makita. And the holes line up. It's pretty much exactly the same thing. So now it's changed in 20 odd years. That's Makita for you. Don't change what ain't broke. But as with the red one, length that lead's a bit crap. Could do with just a couple feet more. 2 more feet. I guess it's enough. That'll do. I need to clean up all these marks where the glue is. I'm going to cut these back a little bit to allow for some ventilation. Right, I got these little things to sort out on each end here. Could run my track saw along it, but that's in the shed and it's snowing outside, so I'm just going to rip it down. This is the full height up to the seat anyway, so it could do with, you know, a little bit of clearance. So like I say, I'm just going to rip it down. There you go, this is face up, get a clean cut. It's pretty clean on the back, bit of glue there. It's not a bad blade still actually. I'm going to use my flush trim cutter to cut these. It's just as well I spent £300 on a new router, it's 240. I was going to use my 110 one, but of course my transformer's in the garage where I'm working, so I've got a couple of offcuts here. I've come 150mm here, 100mm here. I'm going to put a piece here, so when I'm cutting around here it don't break out. This should stop that. I'm going to put the other piece at the other end. So what I've got is a jig for this, so when I do these I can just line it up to these pieces, so that jig will go there, same on the top. I want this straight piece of 9mm ply. I want that like that. That'll be like that. So what I need is some 9mm ply here. So I'll trim a bit off this. Glue that together. Might put a patio across there or something just to hold it. But I need my router to run flat here, so we'll see. So that's what I've got at the moment. These are just keeping these flat. These bits are just super glued on. I let them dry. Then I'll stick these bits underneath. And depending on where the router needs to, I might even stick a piece on there. These were this big, but I ripped them down because my clamps wouldn't reach that far. Cup of tea while that dries. Super glue, it goes off quite fast, but I find that if you leave it 10 minutes it's better. There's some paper underneath, just stop it sticking to this. I can sand that off later when it's done. I'll just let that dry for a little bit. I need to sit my router on, see where it comes to. And I'm going to glue another piece across there like that, just to give it some stiffness. Same on this end. So that's where my router comes to. Same on that end. So I'm going to glue these pieces on like that and give myself a bit of clearance there. It'll be worth it in the end. I'll clamp this to where I want it. I'll probably make a little cut into there first and then cut along. Looks alright. Got 100mm mark here. This This is my other mark, so that should line up. I made one little cut, just cutting into it just a little bit, just so that I'm not going full depth. It's not very deep, but just one little cut and then one final pass hard up against the jig. So I get these up. Can't do it with one hand. Right, so now I've got that central 100mm mark, look. Give that a sand. I'm going to do the other side exactly the same. Right, I'm doing the other side. That one went okay. This one I did the same. I went into there, no problem. Then running along, just take a little bit off, and it broke out there. Yeah, look. It's something to do with the grain. I can't find the piece that fits in. It's only a little piece there, but what I've done is put some filler in. I've cleaned off my jig, and hopefully I'll just be able to router that out. So that's dry now. Just going to run some sandpaper over my jig, make sure there's no snorts. It feels smooth, but just run it over and route it out again. See, for some reason it broke off there. I'll sand that off. It's only cut there, it's only broke there. That'll do. Alright. Can't feel that at all. You'd never know. Anyway. Ah! Just got to work out how I'm going to fix it in place. You got to be able to remove it to get to the radiator valve. Magnetic catches maybe. I don't know if they'll be strong enough there. Not even those good ones that I use. Right, I'm going to fit this in. It fits in snugly. Nicely, you can put it in and out. And the front of here the back of here. This was going to be a single skin radiator, but it turned into a double for some reason. From there to the front of there I've got 60mm, but this is set back a good half inch, maybe 15mm. So at the moment I'm just putting these in. They're going to help support the front. It's pretty much down there, it's very close there, so the centre of that will get a little bit of support from there. And I've got to decide how I'm going to fix it so that you can take it off, put it back on. Because it ended up a bit close to the floor here, I can't get much of a fixing in there. Get a magnetic catch maybe in the top. Need something there. Probably have to just see if I can screw something on. Because I'm drilling at or screwing at an angle, I'm going to put it just forward as a line. See my lines there? Just going to put it forward a little bit. And I'm going to drill through the hole into the wood just a little bit. Give the screw a starting point, otherwise it'll want to slide backwards. I can just see my pencil line there, so this one I'll do the same. I'll just pull it forward a little bit. You see the different coloured wood come out. See my line up here there. Just see my line there. I can anyway. That's more cap flap, I think. We need another tunnel extender. I'll stop that getting kicked in. I'm going to put another one at the top here, and I'll be able to put a catch on there. So I've got a bit of play, a bit of clearance. So I'll be able to put a catch at that top. I'll put some screws in those pieces at the end. One in the middle. That should be strong enough to give it a kick, if you want to give it a kick. I'll put some catches at the top. So I'll put one up there, a few screws in the end. Might stick another screw in the middle. That's going to do for now. I need some way of retaining the bottom. I don't want to put screws in it. Might have to. You put radiators under windows because that's the coldest part of the house, so if it's nice and warm there, it'll be warm enough here. Doors are well sealed. We always knew that this radiator was going to be compromised by the grill and the seat. And it was just a little one, mainly to keep the seat warm. So it's only a little room. It's quite a warm house, too warm for me working. But like I say, it's only a little room. And just as it is at the moment, it's toasty warm in here. We always thought, if that's not enough, then we'll have to put some other radiator in. Maybe one against the wall here. But so far it's quite warm in there. We'll see.